Heyers, I'm Zed Craze, and this is my top 10 most anticipated games of 2022. Coming in at number 10 is a little indie game called Tunic. Coming out on 16th of March 2022 for PC and Xbox. This game's been published by one of the best indie game publishers out there pretty much, Finji, who have previously released Overland and Night in the Woods, one of my favorite games of all time. Tunic is being developed by a solo developer. It is very much a Zelda-like crossed with a Souls-like, which is an overused term, of course, but once you start getting into the combat, you definitely do feel that Souls-like combat sort of feel to it. It's all quite a lot more simplified, but doesn't mean it's not providing a lot of challenge. And that's probably the only thing that's going to hold me back is I'll probably get stuck with it, no doubt, quite early in the game. But at this point, this game's been shaping up for a long time to look really good and possibly be 2022's death's door. At number 9, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and it's coming to PC, Switch, PS4 and Xbox One, and it basically is almost like a reboot of the original Turtles arcade games from the 90s. And what's great about this is, unlike a lot of modern reboots of old school games, they haven't gone and cheapened the graphics with some flash animation or mobile 3D graphics. Instead, they've actually gone back to the original pixel art style, but takes it to that next level as well. So I'm quite excited. I used to love the arcade games back in the day. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays in 2022 when it comes out. At number 8, we have Loot River, coming out this year sometime on PC and Xbox. It's an interesting combination. We certainly have a lot of roguelites right now, but this one's a bit different to your average roguelite because it adds elements of Tetris into it, where you're floating around on platforms that you can move around. So not only is there combat involved, there is also a puzzle element to it all. There's, of course, RPG-style stats as well, where you're continuously upgrading your character. And this is very much coming across to me as something between Hades, Blasphemous, and Loop Hero, which are all awesome games. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out in the end. The demo was very good when I tried it out recently, so I'm looking forward to checking out the full game when it comes out later this year. Coming in at number 7. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, and yes, it's very hard to not mispronounce that name. Of course, I play on words of cyberpunk and that, but what you can see here is very much a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. It's going to be coming to PC and Switch, and the good thing about it is not only are you kind of rollerblading around, you're also going to be skateboarding and riding around on a BMX bike as well, so that will hopefully add some variety to traversal and the parkour action that it's bringing. It'll be interesting to see. It's definitely evoking and oozing that 90s style, such as the original Jet Set Radio. However, will it play like a 2022 game? That's what we'll have to wait and find out. It'll no doubt look good though, and probably sound good too at least, so make sure you check out this if you're a Jet Set Radio fan or just looking for something that looks as cool as this does. At number 6, we have Stray. This game's going to be dropping on PC and PlayStation 4 and 5. I've been following this game for a while. There was a few imageries popping up on Twitter many years ago under a different name, and then eventually it was revealed to be called Stray, this game about being a cat in a cyberpunk sort of world. And not only is that such a cool idea, it's also a really good looking game. This is also an indie game, but it surely doesn't look like it. It looks like a AAA title. It's definitely going to be one of the most graphically impressive games of the year, and no doubt will show off your next gen console. Will this novelty of being a cat last for a full game? I think it will. It's got this sort of almost Pixar quality to it. We'll wait and see when it comes out in 2022 sometime this year. At number 5, we have Replaced, coming out in 2022 as well, as all these games hopefully are doing for PC and Xbox. This game, in some ways, people feel replaced The Last Night. Of course, Last Night was this amazing pixel art game being developed by Oddtail Games, and they released a trailer for that back in 2017 at E3, and people, when they saw this get announced last year, thought, oh, is this just Last Night with a new name? But no, it's actually a different game by a different studio who is clearly highly influenced by The Last Night, but with The Last Night still in development with no release date in sight. This is certainly going to fill that gap while we wait for The Last Night, and this game looks like it's going to stand on its own as well. As much as it's heavily influenced by The Last Night, it doesn't mean it's not an amazing looking game with a real awesome pixel art 2.5D look with a lot of lighting and such. This should be a cool looking game when it comes out later this year, including on Game Pass. At number 4, we have Somerville, coming out on PC and Xbox. This game has massive Inside vibes about it, and there's a good reason for that. One of the founders of the studio that is making this game was an original founder of Playdead, the studio behind Inside and Limbo. This was originally a game being developed by one developer, and then Dino from Playdead came in and started jump ship with them and started producing this game that's looking like it's definitely going to tap into those Inside sort of vibes, and I can't wait to play something like that. It'll be definitely good while we wait for the next game by Playdead. Coming in at number 3 is Elden Ring, and it's very hard to not put this at number 1. This will be the most anticipated game for many people. Definitely one of the most anticipated games for me. I'm a massive Souls fan, even though I absolutely suck at them and rarely ever get past the second boss, but it's the world building, it's the character design, it's the fluid combat, it's everything about the atmosphere of these games, and Elden Ring is going to take that to the next level, really. It very much is basically Dark Souls 4, but with an open world setting. This is Dark Souls Breath of the Wild. I'm all for that. Open world games can be, a lot of waste of time and that, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think it's going to really kind of help switch up the formula of Souls games and take it to the next level. Unfortunately, I didn't get to check out the beta, so I'm going to have a completely fresh experience when this comes out on the 24th of February 2022. And at number 2, speaking of Breath of the Wild, it is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which of course wouldn't have fit on the screen, so I've just put Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. We do not know what the actual official name will be for this game yet. It could be very much a deal like with Ocarina of Time, there was then Majora's Mask. I think that's going to be the case like this. This is going to have a different title that hasn't been announced yet, possibly because it's going to give away some sort of spoiler towards the game. This is going to be hopefully coming out in 2022. They are targeting it. It even is at the end of this particular trailer, but surely it would come out considering it's about 4 or 5 years since the original Breath of the Wild came out, and it's no doubt going to add in some new mechanics. It will be very much still based on the original game, so part of the work is already there done. But of course, when you are following up the best game of all time, there's a lot of pressure to make sure you bring your A game, and I can't wait to just spend so much time in this world again. It would be my number 1, but the only thing about it is it's just going to be more Breath of the Wild, really, and there's not going to be a huge amount of surprises other than maybe some new game mechanics. I hope we get to play as Zelda, but knowing Nintendo, we probably won't. Coming in at number 1 though is Starfield, and when I talk about getting some surprises, this is where I feel we are going to get some surprises. Elden Ring, it's going to be kind of Dark Souls but open world. Breath of the Wild 2, it's going to be Breath of the Wild, but more of it. Starfield, while you could say, well, it's going to be Skyrim or Fallout sort of thing, this is the first new IP in 25 years for Bethesda, and I'm very excited for that because it's set in space, and they haven't done that before. They haven't done a full sci-fi sort of non-post-apocalyptic sort of thing before. With Mass Effect kind of on the back burner for many years now, I'm really dying to play a good space game. We don't know much about Starfield yet. We only have a release date, a small trailer that doesn't show much, and some concept imagery. But if I in any way get as immersed as I was in Fallout 4, then I know I'm going to be in for a good time here. And that's my top 10 most anticipated games of 2022. What games are you looking forward to most this year? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, check ya.